Hello, and welcome back to In the Business. In this episode, we spoke with Miguel, the founder of 8 Dating app. It's a very unique concept, and yeah, he's had a great journey building it so far, so we hope you enjoy this episode. Miguel, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself, just to start off this episode?
Yeah, of course. So, live in Portugal, in Cascais. Very lucky to live here next to the ocean. I've got 2 dogs at home, 2 girls, border collie and a rescue, which are basically my life. And a bit about me, I mean, all I do is really work, go to the gym, play paddle, go to church.
Paddle, I like paddle.
Yeah. And it's been a passion of mine recently. I'm absolutely obsessed. Haven't felt this way since I was playing football when I was 12.
Yeah.
So it's been really, really nice. And yeah, most of my life and my energy goes into building 8 at the moment.
Yeah, sure. So tell us a bit more about your childhood. So you grew up in London, is that right?
Yeah, born in London. Because we moved a lot because of my dad's job when I was young. So moved to London, and then 2 months after I was born, moved to Madrid. Spent like beginning of of my life 2-3 years in Madrid. Then moved to Portugal to study in an international school. So I was doing, and then I moved to Madrid to do GCSEs. Following that, came back to Portugal again to finish IB, and then went back to London again. Well, not London specifically, but like Loughborough University to do my degree. After that, it was right before my final exams that COVID hit, and I came back to Portugal, which was cool because I did all my exams online, which was a lot easier. And then I wanted to really work, but at the same time finish like a master's degree. So I ended up doing an online MBA, which was really fruitful for digital marketing. And I was working at a startup accelerator, which is kind of where that initial spark for entrepreneurship came about. I managed to get in contact with a few of the guys that actually have now built unicorns like Talkdesk in Portugal and Sword Hell. So yeah, that's where it initially started. And following that, Dubai, but that was basically my growing up.
Yeah. What was your role at the startup accelerator? What were you doing there?
At the time, I was doing business development, basically getting in touch with startups, organizing events. I was also handling a bit of social media for the startup accelerator, and basically doing a lot of like organization between startups and investors. So
yeah. So until that point, you hadn't really thought about starting your own thing. Is that right to say?
Not at all. No, I was never thinking of going down the entrepreneurship route.
What suddenly clicked then when you were working in that environment?
Well, to be honest, it was just seeing the passion that people had. You don't see that same sort of passion usually on a 9-to-5 job. People are mostly there to complete a task or to complete the day or to finish whatever they started, but it's not something that's a passion that you want to bring forth for the rest of your life. So I started noticing the sort of environment and thrill that people got from building their own startup, even though it's very unstable. It still has a lot of, there's a lot of emotion behind it.
Yeah. Well, how did you come up with the idea for your first company?
For 8, you mean? So it was funny. I was working in Dubai the past 4 years. I've been in sales, business development, and then I was working a lot remotely from Portugal because as a salesperson, I was always selling online software sales. I was very good at it, so I had a lot of trust from my managers and stuff. So I was mostly a lone wolf when it came to sales, besides doing cross selling and working with my other departments. Had a lot of freedom, so I was working remotely here in Portugal. And I was in the sauna of all places, so half naked. And I was with my best friend. We went to the gym, went to sauna, and then we met the founder of Too Good To Go. He built an app with over 100 million users. He started telling us the story about it. But at the same time, before we even found out he was the founder, we were all talking about how frustrated we were with the dating world because we were all single. We had tried different apps. I mean, he'd even hired, someone to help him out with like creating profiles and stuff on the dating apps because it was so tedious to do. And we started realizing like most men are getting a lot of women who are pushing them to their OnlyFans accounts, who are using their profiles on Tinder as a vehicle to bring guys to follow their social media like Instagram. They're paying armies of robots to actually create thousands of their same profiles and then mass message guys on dating apps. Not only that, even when you are talking to a girl, normally and we had a very high converting profile, we'd get a lot of matches, but we'd talk for 6, 7 days with someone and then it wouldn't actually materialize into a date.
Yeah.
Or even when it did, it could very easily turn into like 10, 15 minutes into the actual date. We invested the time, we commuted there, and there was no synergy. And on the other hand, for women, I had a lot of friends of mine who actually experienced catfishing, and their lives had been actually in danger because of a few experiences where people would pretend there's someone they're not. Because it's just as easy. I can grab Harrison or Tom. I can go to your Instagram, find 5 photos online, pretend I'm you guys, and in the next 5 minutes, I could create a profile of each of you on Tinder.
Yeah. Well, that must be getting a lot easier with AI
Who
and
would
stuff
stop
as
me?
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Who would stop me? So we were like, okay, how can we bring back healthier, more real interactions while still like solving some of these problems and not ignoring the fact that 64% of couples met online in 2024?
Yeah. So is the mission to make dating feel like more real again and sort of bridge the gap between technology and relationships almost? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, our goal is to make dating great again and bring back more old school ways of connecting,
Yeah.
face to
Sure.
face, and actually getting people like to meet profiles, to stop meeting profiles and actually meeting people. Because that's the problem is you keep on being hooked onto people's profiles online. You don't actually get to meet the person. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, just before we dive into how you built the app, can you tell us a bit about how 8 actually works and why it's different to, say,
yeah,
another
of course,
dating app?
of course. So the way that it works, first and foremost, there's no pictures, there's no bios. When you upload a profile, you have to record a 30-second video on our app. Once you record a 30-second video, for example, saying, hey, I'm Miguel, 27, live in Portugal, got 2 dogs, my friends describe me as someone bubbly, whatever. You upload the video, and then you have to either get rejected or approved based on your video. And that way we ensure that you're not posting stuff with nudity or, saying swear words or smoking or, filming the ceiling for 3 seconds. You always get feedback based on your video, and it also protects the other users. Then once you get accepted, the app opens only from 8 to 9 p.m. So there's a countdown every day. When it's open at 8 p.m., you can then see other people who are currently using the app at that time, just like you would in real life. If you go to a bar, you only see people that are there. And if I like a video, just like in real life, I smile at someone. If they smile back, we instantly hop on an 8-minute video call. I mean, if you wanted to meet someone organically in person, if they're smiling at you, you should probably try and have a
Yeah.
conversation. And so you hop on an 8-minute video date, and only after that call do you both become a connection.
Well, that really changes the game. It must save people a lot of time compared to, say, Hinge. Right? Like, because you can quite easily tell, can't you, on a video in the 8 minutes if you're
Yeah.
going to get on with this person or not.
Their body language, their vibe, like it just tells you a lot more about the person.
Yeah.
And not only that, when you're on Tinder or Hinge or Bumble, you get that anxiety of having to say yes or no to someone. Not only that, you're also endlessly swiping. I had friends that would spend hours swiping on Tinder, and so we didn't want that to be the case. So we have this like restricted engagement window to also concentrate more people at the same time so you can have more dates, but at the same time, not force people to spend all their time on the app. That's not our goal. And yeah, it's an easier way to tell if you click with someone.
Following on from the sauna conversation, what were the first steps you took to build the app? Like, how do you go about actually building an app?
Like, I have no idea how you'd build an
Neither.
app. So talk to someone who's an absolute dummy. Like, how the hell do you do it?
To be honest, I'm still a dummy about it. But the way that first we'd have to prove that people want something like this, right? Because okay, you have 3 guys that are single, but what about girls? What about other guys? So what we did was we actually tried to replicate the app in person. So we invited 10 guys, 10 girls to a house. We split them up so they couldn't see each other. We asked everyone to upload to a Google Drive a 30-second video of themselves, and then asked the girls to rank the guys' videos from like 1 to 5 on their favorite video and their least favorite video. basically, or who they would like to actually connect with. After that, manually on a piece of paper, we saw, okay, Tom said he likes Maria. Maria says he likes Tom first. That's the first thing we're going to do. So we sent a Google Meet link to each person. And then they all had 8-minute dates, and we put a timer on our iPhones, put a timer for 8 minutes, and people had that call. And so we did that. And then at the end, there was like a big reveal where everyone just kind of met. But, and after everyone also gave their feedback. Again, very, very rural piece of paper, just gave their feedback, what they thought about the concept. And to be honest, after that, we launched one more speed dating event where we didn't only want to pick up on the concept of video dating, we wanted to pick up on the concept of speed dating. So how do people react about, let's say you go on 8 and you go on an 8-minute date, and then, 30 seconds later, you might hop on another one. How do people like that? So we also launched a speed dating event, which was quite nice. It was in person. And that was enough, to be honest, for us to know, look, people like this. Everyone was saying it's a great idea.
Sounds like a test, essentially. Yeah.
So after that test was validated and you said, yeah, this is a good idea, moving on to actually building the app, I mean, like coding, etc. How did you go about building the app and getting it published on the App Store or Google Play Store?
Yeah, I mean, we followed a lot of YC's advice. And the number one thing is trying to get someone to be part of your team to actually build the app. But we didn't want to outsource it. We wanted someone to actually believe in the project as much as me and Afonso did. And so we went on a hunt for CTOs. And I went on God knows how many interviews, maybe like 30, 35 interviews with different people who fit that profile, had the sort of guidelines. And we then came across Vivek, which is our current CTO. And out of all the 30 interviews, he was the only one that on the first intro call proposed creating a demo version of the app. And 2 days later, he was sending us like this really, really just small, like baseline skeleton version of the app. But it was enough for us to say, wow, this guy has so much initiative. He actually built an app in 2 days, even if it was just like the skeleton or whatever. But it gave us a perspective of what we could build and how it could happen. And then it was basically a work in progress from there, just always tweaking the app. We hired him instantly as soon as we saw that. He had, a couple more interviews with all the co-founders and also the guys that actually invested in us, the VC, Abdal and Thomas, which we owe a lot to. They were great giving us guidance just for a technical interview, because I'm still not familiar with the terms, but we needed someone to basically say, hey, you know what? This guy has the technical skills to actually, be a good teacher.
Yeah. Could you talk us through how you found these people to interview? Like, was it a LinkedIn job?
LinkedIn, yeah.
LinkedIn. And then you took them in for an interview. How did you sort of format that interview? What were you looking for from them people?
Yeah. So I took a lot of what I did during my interview process when I moved to Dubai, because the previous company I was working at had a phenomenal interviewing process where every candidate would kind of leave saying, like, even if I don't get the job, I've learned so much. It was almost like a workshop. So I was like, okay, let me find a similar structure. First is just an intro call, just getting to know someone, understanding what they're like, their sort of experience, etc., screening CVs, and then having that intro call. Then the second interview would be more around technical skills. So how do they perform? Like, what sort of aptitudes and skills do they have that would prove to be important building a mobile application both on Android and iOS? Following that, we'd have a meeting where he would meet not just me, but Afonso. Afonso he's very much a people person. So he asked a lot of good questions about the person's character, what they do as well outside of work. Whereas I might be a bit more methodical, more rational towards just like business. He's very much a people person. And then last but not least, as I mentioned, we had guidance from, Thomas and Abdallah, which had built already very successful businesses, to come in as a final check and just give the green light. And the last step of the process was actually meeting in person, because we wanted the team to be based in Portugal. So we met in person, went out for lunch. He gave us some insights of what he think he could improve on the app, some of the things he had in mind. And from there, handing it.
When it comes to finances, a lot of young people don't have a lot of money. So you talked about employing this person. Was that through capital of the company, or did you pay him a wage? And if you paid him a wage, where did that come from?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, we paid him a wage. We essentially got our first pre-seed round raised at an idea stage. So we didn't have the app built out yet. And we raised that capital through a venture capital firm in Denmark called Medley, who liked the concept and decided to invest.
Yeah.
Perfect.
How did you meet those venture capitalists?
Yeah, so Thomas, who's been following us from the beginning, he was one of the founding partners of the VC, him and Abdallah, and they were part of a group of 7 founders of the VC. They brought us in. We pitched to them, created budget plans, explained the idea, what the costs would look like, our revenue projections, all that stuff. And
yeah.
And
Sure.
what makes a good pitch? So in your pitch, is there anything you felt like you did in that pitch which got you that capital?
We're just in love with the whole dynamics of dating. Like, it's something that we're very passionate about.
The passion.
Yeah, we're just always been passionate between the dynamics between men and women, about what's important in a relationship, how to help men date better, what sort of things you have to do to become a better person so that you can be a more ideal partner for someone else. So all in all, we've always been passionate about it. And we also were suffering a lot from the problem at hand, which is happening with the dating apps. And so when you carry a lot of passion towards a project, people can hear it and feel it in your voice. So that's number one. And then number 2 is just having I don't care what happens, we're going to make it mentality. Like,
Sure.
that is so crucial. Like, you can obviously have reservations and doubts and uncertainties, and you should never make promises to people that you then can't deliver on. But as long as you have hey, I'm going to be stuck to this project for no matter how long until it works, people will start believing in you. Because a lot of these VCs, they don't bet on the idea, they bet on the people. They don't care if we were selling mattresses. They loved us because of the attitude we had, because of the sort of resume that we already had built before. You could see like our results from the past. And so I think that's just something that was a very good selling point, let's say.
Yeah, very interesting. So say now you've got this app and you got the idea behind it. How do you actually get it out to the masses, essentially? How do you get people coming on it?
That was, I would say, the hardest challenge we had, was actually releasing the app to public. We took about 6 months to actually develop, to actually publicly place the app on the App Store and Android. We did launch privately to small groups of people, just to be getting more and more validation as we go, tweaking certain things. But it was such a difficult balance between, we want to make the app good looking for someone that joins, because in our minds, we were like, it's so easy for you to jump on an app, and if you're not impressed by it, you never give it a chance again in the future. So we were getting very stuck on the details. And that's one of my, blessings and curses, is that I like to be perfectionist. But you can't be a perfectionist when you're launching an MVP. There's a reason it's called a minimum viable product. It's because it just needs to have the bare minimum for someone to say, you know what, good concept or not. But in my mind, I was like, I need this to look really good and all this stuff. And we got very much stuck on these small details, small features. And obviously having only one person developing the app can be a bit more time consuming, rather than hiring, like outsourcing a company with 15 engineers working on it, and then that's it. So it took a long time to actually get it out to public, but eventually we got it approved on App Store, and it got launched in May, and then on Android in July.
So appearance was a big factor for you in making people come on. You wanted it to look usable, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a mistake. But
you think that was a mistake? Yeah.
I think it was a mistake, in my opinion. Yeah.
Why? Just because you spent so much time on that when you could have been focusing your efforts elsewhere, or?
Just getting the app out to people earlier, getting the proof of concept that we're now getting could have happened a lot earlier had we just released it and not cared so much about tiny features, or having the settings perfect, or having the button in this exact location, those sorts of things.
Sure. So once you had all that set up, did you put money into ads to get the word out there about it? How else did you get it out there?
Yeah, great question. It was mostly word of mouth. We did spend some money in marketing. funny enough, like the majority of the money that we put into marketing was a little bit badly spent, to be honest. Like, we had a very funny story, and I much rather tell things that people can relate with, which are the issues. And one thing we did was we wanted to launch the app in February, Valentine's Day, and we were sure we were going to get the app ready. We paid an email system to basically blast millions of emails to potential people who are single. And the way that it works is you warm up the system and then you have a deadline to actually release. On the day that it was supposed to be released, the app stopped working. It started bugging out completely. It wouldn't open. And we actually lost a lot of marketing budget to that because we thought the app was going to be ready. And that was the majority chunk. We didn't spend any money on ads. Most of the, all of the users we have right now were completely organic. So either word of mouth, doing stunts in public, going out to universities, going out to hotspots in Lisbon, talking to people, doing interviews. And yeah, it was mostly
It's actually getting out there and real connections. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So what sort of stage are you at with the company now?
Yeah, great question. So at the moment, we're raising a second round. That's been my full-time job, is raising capital amongst other things, but main priority is that. We're raising capital because we now are getting some momentum on the app. We are pre-revenue, meaning that we only have a free version of the app. We're not making any money, but this is a network effect app. So whenever a company like Match.com, who owns all of the dating apps, wants to buy out a company like 8, they buy it for the community, not necessarily because you're a money-making machine. So what we're trying to do is make sure that the community loves us. Like, they love what the product before we launch ads on the app and have a lot of revenue streams. So at the moment, what we're doing is raising enough capital so that we can really make a lot of noise in Portugal, make sure that everyone that's single from the ages of like 20 to 45 know what 8 is. And yeah, that's basically it.
What are the potential revenue streams you can do? You mentioned ads there, but is there anything else that you can do?
So our goal is to have a freemium model, just like you would on LinkedIn or any other dating app. Premium features that give you really good benefits. Users pay for that. Then we also want to venture into in-person events as well. Similar to Thursday Dating. They're very big in the UK. And we want to also start doing some events in person so that people aren't just paying a subscription for an app. They can actually attend events as well, or just pay one-off for events and then, reverse engineer it where they go through events into the app. So having those two streams and then ads. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's an absolutely amazing idea. But why 8 minutes? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So that actually came from, there's two people that inspired a couple of things. One was the actual concept itself, which is why use video versus like photos and stuff. And it was Mark Cuban. He was talking about how eventually everyone's going to move into either a face-to-face model or an in-person model because it's going to be impossible to distinguish what's AI from what's not. I'm already struggling to do that, to be honest. Not sure you guys are real. And then the 8 minutes, there is some logic behind it. It was actually Simon Sinek that spoke about the power of an 8-minute conversation.
Okay.
And it's about how easily an 8-minute conversation can change your mood, can change even the way your life goes. Like, I can remember that conversation I had in that sauna before I quit my job and went full time onto 8. That wasn't more than an 8-minute conversation. That was all it took for me to make a complete change in my career. And so 8 minutes is enough, but it's not too much. That's the thing. We never wanted people to feel the pressure to like stay on a call for longer than 8 minutes. And we understood that it's like that sweet spot where if the date goes well, you just want more. And that's what we got from our first test events. We were like, what? 8 minutes already went by?
Yeah. Well, 8 minutes is, if you're with someone who's terrible, it's quite a long time, isn't it? That's quite a long conversation with someone that you don't get on with well at all.
Exactly. And that's perfect. You're like, okay, yeah, we're not going to be dating most likely if it's more than, if
it's the perfect match, 8 minutes goes like that. It's nothing.
Exactly.
Do you reckon COVID helped you? as in help the business, or do you reckon it did more harm than good?
That's a great question. I think it did us good in the sense that people naturally gravitated more towards online dating. Like a lot of people started meeting online because it was harder. Like people just got accustomed to video. And that's the second point, is that people got accustomed to video. One of the things you were most scared of, and now we're realizing that it's obviously still the most difficult challenge for a user to overcome, is exposing themselves over video, because not everyone's comfortable with cameras and filming
Yeah.
themselves. COVID helped because everyone started doing Teams meetings and Zoom and Google Meet and stuff. So you
Interesting.
had for work to get used to videos, and that helped us. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
So if you could go back to the very start and you're starting this company again, is there anything that you would do differently?
Yeah, for sure. Launch the MVP to public earlier. That's for sure, because I can understand that now. I would have also been more careful with how we manage our money. We should have had more percentage of our total initial investment go into growth and marketing, rather than anything else. And I would have potentially stayed a little longer doing the work that I was doing before, until we were guaranteed that the app was in a good position and without any bugs before releasing it out. Because what started happening was so many months were going by, and the three co-founders had dropped our jobs. So we still needed to earn enough to survive. And because it took a lot longer, that money just kept going into salaries and human resources and subscriptions for the app, infrastructure, nothing going into marketing, because it was never ready to go out to public. And so eventually we started running out of runway. And so that was my main take from the beginning.
Yeah, okay.
And also getting an mentor is like crucial. Not just, we did get some guidance, but getting someone who is in the trench, who has been recently in the trenches with you, like, or in a similar project, maybe not with you, but someone that's been in the trenches, who's been going through this difficult moment recently, it helps a lot to understand how they got out of the rut.
Yeah, sure.
When building an app or any business at all, it can feel very lonely at times. You're building a company that's meant to solve loneliness, but have you ever felt lonely yourself in this journey?
Yeah, I did. There was moments where there was a lot of friction between the founders. We were in a position, again, it goes all back to this period where the app was not getting released. There was a lot of friction because things were stalemating. We weren't flying like we thought we would. It just kept getting delayed. We started getting lost in the process. At one point, at many points, we considered rejigging the whole concept of the app and doing something for founders and investors to speed date, or to make this a student networking app where new students can join universities and then network with each other. We started getting so much lost in the process, where everyone was kind of just sad at the fact that we hadn't progressed more than we did. And that felt very lonely, because if you don't communicate properly with your co-founders, you start growing resentment. And we went through a period where we started having a lot of friction. We weren't happy because Vivek wasn't fixing the bugs as quickly. I wasn't happy with Afonso because I felt like marketing wasn't going out. Afonso was getting, and Vivek were getting unhappy at me because I was putting too much pressure. Or I kept on trying to maybe use this concept for something else just to see if we can get some users going. And that brought a lot of friction. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
How did you solve that friction?
Just talking like all the time, like doing daily stand-ups every time an issue came up, talking, like communicating it, not holding anything back. And then you also have to put your ego to the side. And whenever your co-founder is struggling, you have to pick him up. This is no different than a relationship at all. Like, you spend just as much time with them as you would with your partner. So you have to nurture that. And we all signed a vesting period where none of us can sell our shares for the next 4 years. So it was like, okay, guys, do you want to make it or do you not want to make it? We're stuck together for 4 years if we want to make 8 work. If we don't, let's all leave, go find jobs. Okay. But that's not what we want, right? So we have to pick each other up.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today. That's been it's an incredible idea. Is it launched in the UK or is it just sort of Portugal at the moment?
So initially we opened it to the UK, but now we want to focus just in Portugal. What we want to do is get to the UK, but you can create a profile on 8, but you'll join our waiting list. And as soon as it's out, you can, we'll make sure to send you an email, but you can already upload your video and then either get accepted or not, but you'll join our waiting list. So no.
Well, I'll tell my friends about it.
Please do.
It's amazing. So where can people find the app and you, just before we go?
Yeah, of course. Please, on LinkedIn, it's, I don't know if my name shows up, but Miguel Moreira de Cruz. Follow me on LinkedIn, like connect with me, let's talk. In terms of 8, you can just type 8 Smile Video and Connect on App Store. Depending on where you are, I would just recommend you type all of it so it shows up, because in different countries it has different like optimizations in the engines. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Amazing. Thank you for talking to us.
No worries. Really nice meeting you.
Good.
Thank you for listening to another episode. Tom, what do you think of that one?
Well, it's a very, very interesting episode. I mean, what I liked about that particular founder was that he had the idea and he believed in the idea. He had a mission behind his business. And also it's a lesson that you can completely change an industry if you want to. Like, dating is quite an established industry already, but this guy's coming along, he's breaking it, changing the norms. And that is an inspiring story. You can actually change how people
use things, like how people date.
Yeah, you can actually change how people date, which a lot of founders say, oh, couldn't possibly do that.
Yeah,
he's out there doing it.
Like a hard task, but go for it.
Well, Harrison, what do you think? Give me your thoughts.
I thought it was good. I think building an app is quite a intimidating thing to start off with.
Yeah.
But as you saw with him, he brought in a person to build the app.
You got to hire the right talent. Thank you for listening to that episode. Please do like and subscribe to our podcast, but also check out Miguel and his app, because it's incredible what he's doing. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.